Hey, what's up? Ian here, and this is the BLON X HBB Z300 IEM single dynamic driver, and it's $35 available on Linso's website. I'm just gonna show it to you here. Basically, it comes in two colors. You have the black or the gold. Personally, I love the gold. Look at the gold color, it's really nice. The faceplate is 18 karat gold plated. The black is, I guess, is 18 karat gold plated as well. But yeah, it's really nice. I like the gold color, but basically this is what they sent me, so I've got to live with this black color. But it's nice. It's nice. I'm not regretting or anything like that. Okay, so in this video I'm going to go through a very quick user experience with the accessories, and then I'm going to talk about the sound and then compare it with some other IEMs that I have. I've already done the unboxing. If you guys are interested to watch that ASMR unboxing, you can check out the link up above. But in this video, I'm just going to focus on my user experience with this IEM. Alright, so first let's just talk about the accessories which I've used. So basically the pouch, I didn't use it. Okay, to be honest, I didn't use the pouch. It doesn't really work for me. It doesn't protect the IEM. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't have any hard protection to it. It's basically just to prevent it from being scratched from my keys or my coins. All right, but I do use the cable. I love this cable. This is a very nice cable. It's a 6-core cable, braided, and yeah, it's really nice for a stock cable. Okay, so I'm using this cable. Ear tips, I don't really use it. I use my own SpinFits CP145, and yeah, so basically my UX experience with this IEM in terms of the comfort, okay, is very comfortable to wear. It gives me a very good seal, and it doesn't hurt my ear. Okay, I can wear this the entire day with no issues at all. The shape of this IEM is very nice, ergonomic, is comfortable. Overall, a very good user experience with this. Now let's talk about drivability of this IEM. This IEM, I drove it with my FC6, right? This is the HiBi FC6, my Show, which is the Truth Ear Show, and my M15 dongle, and all this I used it with my Android phone and my iPhone as well. And then the players that I used this earphones with is the HiBi. I don't really use much with the Shanling M0 Pro. Now, in terms of players and the source, all right, so source matching for this IEM is quite important, I think, because this is more of a fun IEM, all right? This is more of a fun and casual IEM, so you got to match it with a source that has got more of a warm sound signature. And the best source which I used is the Sony A55, and obviously the songs that I listen to are more heavy metal and 80s and rock songs. All right, so this IEM is actually a collaboration between HBB and BLON, and you know, it's basically tuned according to HBB's preference and his library as well. So if you have similar taste in music as HBB, then you will thoroughly enjoy this IEM. Is at $35. So in terms of price to performance and value, it's worth buying, definitely, based on the quality of the cable that's being provided and overall quality of the shell, right? Look at the shell. It's made of metal. It's aluminum. It's got a coating or plating of 18 karat gold. I think it's, I don't know, it's gold plated, right? This is what they claim. So in terms of value for money, this is really value for money. Okay, so those are the source that I used it with, and the drivability of this IEM is not as easy to drive as let's say the QKZ HBB. All right, so this QKZ HBB is pretty easy to drive as compared to the Z300. So for this, I would suggest to get a DAC or a DAP. to drive this IEM. I mean, you still can drive it with, if you plug it into directly into a phone, for example this iPhone with a headphone jack, it still will drive this IEM, but it's not going to be as easy to drive as, let's say, using a dongle. Okay. Right, so let's talk about the overall technicalities of this IEM. So basically, in terms of technical performance, the soundstage is really good, right? It's I wouldn't say holographic, but it's wide enough to the sides, and it's got good enough height. And the soundstage is well laid out. Not a very wide one, but is more linear. If you know what I mean, more linear, and it's got separation. It's not the best separation, but it's better than, well, let's say the QKZ HBB, right? Definitely better than the QKZ HBB in terms of the sound separation. The detail retrieval is also pretty good, right? Pretty good for the price, and yeah, I could pick up most of the details, not all of them, but most of them. And the resolution on this is definitely better than the QKZ HBB. I mean, you get what you pay for, right? This is $35, the QKZ is $20, so yeah, it's more expensive, a bit more, but you get a bit more resolution out of this little IEM. So basically, resolution wise is pretty good for the price. I can hear that it's clearer, it's much more resolving than the QKZ HBB. Okay, now let's talk about the sound signature. And basically, in terms of this tuning, I would say this is more of a fun and casual listening IEM, right? So if you again have the same listening preference or same listening taste as HBB, then you will definitely enjoy this IEM. The bass is a pretty forward bass. The mids is also forward. It's just that the treble, which I've highlighted, is more of a safe treble, right? It's a safe tuning. Treble is not going to be harsh, offensive. It's not going to be sibilant. It's just nice, whereby it fits any library that has got electric guitars, rock, kick drums, and anything that has got to do, popular music, R&B, and that sort of music. Okay. But if you were to listen to classical, jazz, orchestras, then this tuning is not going to be really suitable for that genre of music. But in general, if you listen to, well, most of what the general public listen to, then this is a very good tuning to go for. Okay, so for the bass, right, the sub bass is got good extension, good body, and good texture as well, and it's not a bass hit type of sub bass, right? The rumble is there, but it's not going to have that very deep rumble and very solid rumble. It's good enough for most of the genres that I just mentioned, but it's not going to be extensive to a point whereby like it's similar to the Fat Freak Maestro Mini or that kind of bass, right? It's not going to be, or the legato, right? It's not that kind of bass. It's just nice. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's just a little bit elevated. Now the mid bass is punchy. It's got good slam, good kick. Bass will have that little bit of thump. So pretty forward in terms of the mid bass. Okay. Now the lower mids is recessed. Okay, is expected with the elevation of the bass level. The mids is a bit recessed. I mean, it's a V-shaped tuning, so I would expect it to be veiled, a bit veiled by the bass. Okay, so don't expect the mids to be very clear, right? And together with the upper mids, is not a very aggressive upper mids, which I'll talk about later. But in terms of the mids, I would say it's polite, right? It's got good body, it's got good warmth as well. The overall tone and timbre for this IEM is warm, it's fun, it's casual, is very pleasing, easy to listen to type of tone and timbre. It's not those kind of neutral or natural type of or linear type of tone and timbre. Okay. So instruments like pianos, violins, or even trumpets and flutes, they would sound a little bit veiled, okay, by the bass. Now, vocals would sound nice. I would say male vocals sounds pretty good on this IEM. Female vocals not so much, right? But male vocals has got more presence, more authority, and more oomph. All right, they've got more warmth, and even though they are veiled by the bass, but male vocals has got that low soprano type of presence. Some male vocals. So it depends really very much on the track that you're listening to. But yeah, male vocals would stand out more on this IEM. Okay, now upper mids, this is where the tuning of this IEM similar to the QKZ HBB, right? So this is a very polite peanut gain. So it's not very harsh, it's not intrusive, it's not energetic, it's not bright. So I would say it's a very safe treble. So if you are treble sensitive, this is a very safe treble. Okay. Presence is also not a very present, so it's pretty dark in terms of the treble. So yeah, as I mentioned, it's dark treble. Now the extension of the treble is pretty natural. All right, the roll off of the treble is pretty good. It's got quite a bit of air, but not a lot. But it's got a bit more air than the QKZ HBB. I mean, this is what my ears tell me, and this is a good example, right? If you look at the graph of the QKZ HBB. Right, these two, they look pretty similar on the graph. Okay, but when I listen to it with my ears, they sound different. Right, obviously the drivers are different. So yeah, so graph do not tell you everything. Or basically, it just gives you a reference, a preview of how the IEM will look like or sound like when you put these IEM in your ear. Okay, right, so that's the overall sound signature of this BLON HBB Z300, and overall I would say in terms of the listening experience with this is a good quality value for money IEM at $35 US. Good quality cable, tips not so much, sound quality is good as well, and the overall shell is actually a good quality shell. It's metal. It's definitely of it's of value. Okay, now comparing to, let's say, the QKZ HBB, I mean, QKZ HBB is made of resin. The shell is made of resin. It's lightweight. It's not as heavy or hefty as the Z300, and the price is cheaper as well. So if you were to ask me, I would definitely choose the Z300. It's got a better quality. I would say it would last longer, all right, compared to the QKZ HBB. But both in terms of the sound, okay, so you saw the graph earlier. They look similar on the graph, but these Z300, they have got better sound quality in the technicalities. The sound stage is better, the sound separation is better, the overall resolution and the ability to resolve the songs and the tracks and retrieve the details as compared to the QKZ HBB is so much better. Okay, and also comparing to the this is the Kiwi Ears cadenza. So a Kiwi Ears cadenza is also $35 US. But look at the shell. I mean, this is a full resin shell, right? And the quality of the shell is okay. It's not bad, right? But it's not metal at all. But in terms of the sound, I would say the Z300 has got a bit more edge in terms of the technicalities, resolution, and the soundstage and the detail retrieval on the Z300. The cadenza, they sound good, right? Both of them actually, they sound similar. Again, let me just pull out the graph and just show you, okay, how similar they look on the graph. But again, this is just a graph. It's not what you're gonna hear, right? So looking at the graph, it's a bit different. Okay, it's a bit different for the cadenza. Okay, the cadenza has got a bit more energy in the upper mid-range. Okay, and it's got a bit more bite. Okay, and it makes well, I would say cymbal strikes, hi-hat crashes. They have got well, more presence. It's a brighter, a more gainier type of a more bitier type of listening experience. Okay, so this one is it's not harsh as well. I mean, I'm not saying that this is harsh, and it's definitely not sibilant, because it's not a bright IEM as well. So the cadenza and the Z300, they both have similar presence, and it's not a sibilant tuning, right? So these two, they are very polite in the treble region, and they both sound really good. So in terms of, well, depends on what tracks you listen to. For me, I prefer a bit more bite in the treble region, but for some people, they just want to have a presence of the cymbal crashes, hi-hats, even the electric guitars, and even the snares. All right, the snares, to me, they are very important. Every hit, every strike, I want to hear that detail, and it's more energetic on the cadenza. Okay, but it's okay. All right, on the Z300, basically there's a very smooth tuning for the Z300. Okay, and I would suggest, in terms of gear matching, to use a wide bore ear tip. At the same time, use a very warm source. All right, so if you have something that is warm, in terms of the source, either the Sony or the recent HiBi FC6 dongle DAC, or you can use the HiBi R3. These sources will give a very warm, rounded, and smooth sound, and if you pair it up with the Z300, it will give you a more musical listening experience. Okay. Now, do I recommend these Z300? Definitely at $35 US is a value for money buy, and yeah, I would recommend this if you were to listen to most of the tracks that HBB recommends, right? And you have the similar library as HBB, I do recommend this IEM. But if you listen to classical, orchestra, jazz, or even Japanese pop, then this IEM may not be suitable for you. But if you were to listen to mostly heavy metal, rock, R&B, then this is a value for money, good performing IEM. Alright, so that concludes my overall review of this HBB Z300. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right, so that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next review. Cheers.